So the British didn't just ban Mahua, they gave it a bad name. And I think that was the most defining part of this whole exercise. Because laws change, governments change, and even bans eventually end. But the stigma, that survives generations. It completely changes how people talk, how people think, or how an entire country relates to an ingredient. And that's exactly what happened with Mahua. In the late 1800s, the British passed a series of excise laws across several parts of India targeting Mahua. Not just the alcohol, but even the flowers. There were regions where tribal communities could even be penalized for collecting or storing Mahua flowers. Think about that for a second. A family that had lived alongside this tree for generations was now breaking the law just by picking up the flowers from the ground beneath it. And officially, this was framed as morality, public health, and controlling intoxicants. But the reality behind this was something else. Imported alcohol from Britain and Europe generated enormous revenue for the colonial government. And a community that could produce its own drink from a forest flower was missed revenue. But the most significant thing to stress on here is that these laws didn't just affect the alcohol, they buried everything around the ingredient Mahua. The culinary knowledge, the traditional medicinal knowledge, the nutritional understanding, an entire relationship between communities, forests, food slowly got reduced to one label: illicit, inferior, shameful alcohol. And then India got independence, but many of these excise systems still stayed the same. And so did the stigma. Even post-independence, Mahua continued to be looked down upon through a very colonial lens. And that's why when people ask me why India forgot so many of its own ingredients, it's not always because we naturally moved on. Most of these were deliberately pushed out. And over time, we inherited the stigma, while some of our finest ingredients like Mahua became invisible.